Hey, what's going on? So just out here by the pond. I got it running again. It was somehow losing water, and I thought there was a leak down there. And then I shut it off, and all the water pulled up down here and then never dropped. So I knew my leak wasn't down there. But I had pretty much this entire area filled with plants and pulled out a bunch of plants. And then after I pulled out a bunch of plants, it got better. What's up, Bexy Dexy? That's a cool name. So yeah, we're back in business with this pond. Oh, there's a froggy. What's up, buddy? That's a green frog. They start off that color and then they turn green. But yeah, so I had these lilies. I mean, there's still some here, but they were just filling this entire thing. And the weird thing is like, I don't think they did anything to the liner. I can't tell if the plants were just drinking that much water, that it was dropping it fast, or if whatever, we pulled out somehow was affecting, the lay of the liner or something like that. So, yeah, pretty cool. It's all grown in. We've had a ton of rain this year, so this is definitely the most plant life this thing's ever had around it. There's a cooter enjoying life over there. Up here in the wetland section, sometimes I get lucky and I'll find like hatchling turtles up in this because this is a better spot for them, and they end up kind of coming up into here. But my Joe Pie is huge and it's attracting butterflies. Got lots of these. I'm not sure what kind of butterfly that is. Do I like dinosaurs? Yeah, dinosaurs are cool, man. Kind of hard not to like turtles if you like dinosaurs. So yeah, definitely a dinosaur fan. When I was a kid, that was like my jam, was dinosaurs, and I was a big fan of like Triceratops and Kylosaurus. Obviously, every kid loved T-Rex. And then I think Jurassic Park movies happened, and then everybody became fans of, velociraptors and stuff like that. So, yep. Dinosaurs are the best. I just don't really like all the movies that come about them, because I feel like they make these movies and they always have to throw in some hybrid or something that's ridiculous, and we can't just enjoy like dinosaurs for being awesome as they are. It's kind of silly. Got a fish down here in the bottom guarding a nest. Got a map turtle hiding on the bottom. Got a snapper wedged up in this cave. So she was in with Tony, and I think he was driving her crazy, just trying to mate all the time. So she wanted a break. So she's in here, and so in here she can hang out and, eat stuff. I just have to keep an eye and make sure nothing really aggressive is happening with the other turtles. But for the most part, she just hides. You can see there's a lot of like clamshells and pieces of snails and stuff like that. The turtles come out at night and eat all that stuff. There's an active yellow jacket nest over there, so I've got to be kind of vigilant while I'm sitting here, make sure the yellow jackets don't get too irritated with me. Map turtle doing map turtle stuff. This is what they like to do. So like, map turtles are funny, and when they get scared, they'll go straight down from where they were at and kind of sit on the bottom. Whereas like your cooters, your sliders, when they get scared, they tend to kind of like take off running or swimming away, where map turtles just kind of kerplunk and go straight down. It's kind of funny. But yeah, look at all the plants in this thing. I'm just glad that this thing is back running the way it should be again. It was stressing me out, to be honest. And right here, so this cooter was given to me. It was kind of rescued out of a park pond or something. It actually has what looks like an alligator bite, but this one's believed to be a cross between a red belly and a river cooter. And it literally, you look at one part of it, like the shell looks very much like a Florida red belly, and then you look at the striping on the face and the fact that it doesn't have the cusps on the upper jaw like a Florida red belly, so the head's kind of like a river cooter head, and then the rest of it is like a red belly. So yeah, another interesting critter that lives here, and she's doing good. She's just super flighty. Again, it's like a river cooter trait is to be super flighty. But she's getting used to me. Yeah, most of the turtles in here, apart from the map turtle, most of them are pretty chill, you know, hanging out. There's usually a razorback that'll come out and sit next to me. There's another alligator snapper sitting back in there, and it's actually watching me right now. So there's not alligators in this pond. This one came from a pond in Florida that had alligators in it, and it was like, I guess, where people were dumping their pets, and she had an alligator bite, you know, right there. And it's also believed to be a cross between two different species, and so it's kind of not a good idea to leave it in there and keep muddying up genetics and basically a situation where turtles could get back into the wild. Pick that alligator snapping turtle up for us. Well, the one that's in this cave, when they get into here, they're like locked in. I mean, I would basically be tearing up stuff in the pond and disturbing the pond to pick that one up. And then the one that's in the corner over there, as soon as I get close to that, he's gonna slink back up, and that cave goes all the way up into here underneath this like tree. So yeah, it wouldn't really be worth it for me to kind of pull them out and harass them. They're chilling right now. There are other alligator snappers. I'm just trying to think. It's kind of midday, so they're all kind of hiding. So they're all kind of hard to find right now. But yep, that's a cooter there. Did I know prehistoric crocodiles and alligators used to eat T-Rexes? Yeah, I know that the prehistoric alligator, I think, was one of the largest crocodilians ever, and it did prey on, I mean, pretty much anything it wanted. Do I even have to deal with shell rot? I literally almost never deal with shell rot, and I think that's because, well, first of all, my basking turtles all have places to get completely dry when basking, like way up above the water. And they're outside in like kind of natural air, so it's really hard for them to get shell rot. And then all my water, the pH is balanced more acidic, and so when your pH is like say a pH of 6 is considered acidic, pH of like 9 is alkaline. People that are using tap water, you know, a lot of times that's going to be an 8 or 9 on the pH scale. Higher pH, for whatever reason, allows more fungus and bacteria to grow, and that's why we'll have issues with fungus and shell rot. When the water is acidic, that stuff can't really grow, or it can't grow as well, and so I almost never have shell rot issues, and I never have fungus. I mean, that fungus you see on the skin, I haven't seen that on my turtles in over a decade, just because, you know, changing the water quality and also keeping them outside and giving them opportunity to bask. I have a feeling also a pellet heavy diet, there's something maybe in the ingredients in the pellets that, whether it's uneaten and breaks down or it's pooped out essentially, I'm almost wondering if there's something in that grows a certain type of fungus. Because I know that pellet fed turtles, like turtles that are on like a pellet exclusive diet, seem to have those fungus issues more often. I know that's a long-winded answer, I'm sorry. How long have I had this pond for? So this pond was built in 2020, October of 2020. So yeah, and it goes up under here. So when this was built, they actually shorted me on the rock, and so we had to figure out how to make a pond at the bottom with less rock than it was supposed to have. So what we did is we just tucked the liner and we created cave systems. So while it's kind of a narrow L shape, this actually goes underground here, goes underground here, underground over there, underground there. So we were able to kind of play with what we had with not having enough rock. And it actually gave the turtles something that they use in the wild, and that's, you know, having like caves and undercut banks and stuff like that. We'll see if we can see this snapper. There he is. You can kind of see a little bit. Yeah, he's sitting there. Yeah, just kind of watching me. But he's got like a cave that goes way up under here, and just like in nature, they'll find a tree that comes down and they'll get all up into the roots and stuff. So yeah, he chills in there and he's pretty happy with that. Have I named my turtles? I have too many turtles to name all of them. I wish I could, but it would be hard to remember all the names if I named all of them. So I do have some favorites, but yeah. Do I get frogs in my pond? Yeah, I showed a frog a little bit ago. I mean, I can look around and probably find one. There's frogs all in this thing. That's actually one of my favorite things. I really like frogs. So it's cool to be able to come out here and see lots and lots of frogs. There's usually a bullfrog under this. We'll try it. I'm just gonna see if that green frog is still sitting here. Yep, there he is. There's a frog for you. That is a juvenile green frog. Yes, I have soft-shell turtles. How many turtles do I have? I don't know. I have not done a complete inventory in a couple years. I have like a rough estimate, but you know, turtles lay eggs. Let's say I have 100 turtles. Well, it doesn't take that many turtles laying clutches of 10 to 20 eggs. Next thing you know, you have 200. So as clutches hatch and I have babies, you know, it goes up, and then I give those away, and then it goes back down. All right, let's see if the bullfrog's under here. There he is. Sorry, bud. I'll let you have your privacy. Yeah, there he is. There's the bullfrog. And yeah, like I was talking about earlier, I actually have an active yellow jacket nest. But, you know, that's been kind of fun too. It's been fun to kind of watch something different. And so these yellow jackets are actually right there. They go to and from. It's like a little airport, watching them fly in and out of there. So pretty cool stuff. Do I have koi fish? No, every time I've put koi fish in here, a heron shows up and poaches them out within the first week or two. It's pretty crazy because I never see herons fly over this, but you put koi fish in here and they find it. Whether I have turtle or frog. I mean, probably turtles, but I feel like if you have this, you're gonna have frogs no matter what. Do I have tortoises? Yeah, I have. Let me look around. There's a sulcata here. I saw a yellowfoot earlier. Let's see if I can find my yellowfoot tortoise. I just saw it. I need to trim down all of these plants, but it's just been raining so much, it's been hard to do that. Let's see, where's my yellowfoot? I just saw her. Well, she was here. They all kind of come and go. We can see if, oh, there she is. Yellowfooted tortoise. Hello. Yep, she's just cruising around. Had this girl for many, many, many years. Probably getting close to 20, I think. So yeah. Do I have spiny soft shells? I don't. I used to have a male that I had for like 15 years. And he was like just old. And I think he just passed of old age for a soft shell. But that was a really cool turtle. Yeah, yellow jackets are gnarly if you're not ready for them. Yeah, she's cool. It's neat. You can see her shell's like really smooth. She was old when I got her. This pet store had her and was calling her a South American desert tortoise, keeping her with a heat lamp on her back on like sand. And I was just like, dude, you guys don't know what you're doing. And the heat lamp, she still has the scar. You can see right there, she has this big scar where the heat lamp burned her. But what's neat is, you know, you can see she's smooth. I mean, she's super old. She still puts on new growth though. Pretty cool. Then up here, we have some young turtles. There's some little cooters. I put these cooters in here. This is actually a tub for hatchling alligator snappers, but I put these cooters in here to kind of help cut back all this duckweed and vegetation because it was getting kind of to be too much. So these guys do a good job eating the plants down, and then I'll just move them back to the ponds. Once it's died down a bit, we'll see if we can find a hatchling alligator snapper in here. There's a ton of them in here. They're just really good at hiding. Sometimes it's better to just feel around. Let's see. You can kind of feel around and know when you got one. Let's see. I've pulled them out on live before. Let's see. Bop, bop, bop. There's also some musks in here. Somewhere in here, there's baby turtles. Tony's doing good. He's actually over in his pond. I don't even know if we'll be able to see him. I could maybe try. Let's see. I'm gonna try and find one of these hatchlings that Tony produced. They get into this thing and you can't even find them. That's what makes them so amazing, man, is they're good at disappearing into anything. I don't see any. I mean, they're in here. They're just dang near impossible to find. This is a root wad for a lily pad. Well, let's see. Keep answering some questions. Dude, thank you, Bob. Appreciate that. Do I have Cheetah? Oh, Wachita map? I don't. I've actually, I don't even know if I've seen one of those map turtles in person before. So supposedly they're in Georgia, but I don't know about that. I think maybe it was a mistaken identity on that one. We'll have to see. I know people looking for them. Let's see. Thanks, Bob. Thanks for all you do, man. I appreciate it. You thought you had one? Talk about a Wachita? All right. Well, we couldn't pull out a little snapper from there. Let's see. Let's see if we can pull out something else from somewhere. Let me brainstorm real quick. I think I've had this issue before, like when it's summertime. Hopefully it doesn't rain on me. In the summertime, I have a harder time finding. Oh, there's a snapper right there. He's watching me. Let's see if we can grab this guy. Come here, buddy. Oh, he's a mean old little western. There we go. He was hiding in that moss. Look, he's just using that moss as cover. And so yeah, this is a. Oh my gosh, I'm all zoomed in. Yeah, so this is kind of a typical western alligator snapper. Got like that super narrow hooked beak, flat shell with those big keels. This guy's a few years old. Somebody gave him to me as a hatchling, and he's just kind of been living in this tub. But yeah, they're cool. It's neat. You know, the alligator snappers are all different, so they don't move over land, so every river they're in, they just kind of form a new species. But that hooked beak is just wicked looking. Looks like something from Trimmers. Super, super cool. I'll let this guy swim back into there. Adios, brother. When I go catch a snapping turtle. Yeah, I don't ever catch a snapping turtle by the head. Do painted turtles live in packs? They live in like really high densities, especially when you get places where there's beaver ponds, and then they'll bask in large groups. I think they just get high population densities is what it is. Yeah, I still have turtles from Fred. I still have hybrid snapping turtles from Fred. Let's see, I got another alligator snapper over here. Let's see if we can pull this guy out. I think I tried to on a live before and couldn't find him, and might be the case again today. Oh, there he is. So this one I've had for about 10 years since it was a hatchling. Ugh. Let me get a better grip on him. There we go. There you go. Yeah, he's just covered in algae. Just the epitome of a swamp monster. Look at that. Total swamp monster. Just happily lures all day and eats snails and all kinds of stuff. And you can see that shell just builds up all that algae on it. Oh, you got plants on your head, bro. It's hard to do this one-handed holding the phone. All right, we're gonna let him go. Oh, and then over here is a mountain tortoise watching me do that. Let's see if we can see this mountain tortoise better. Look at all that new growth. It's so cool. These guys have such a cool looking shell, and they're just so like primitive looking. They have like a really, for a tortoise, they have like a really hooked beak too. Yeah. And they're moody. Like this one is so moody. but they're really cool. Come here. Let me see if I can get a good look at you. I got this one is just a little guy from Vic Morgan years ago at a Daytona reptile show. Probably the coolest thing I ever got at a reptile show. Oh, they're just so cool looking. And so this is a Burmese black mountain tortoise. And they get a lot bigger than this. They get about sulcata size, maybe just a smidge under sulcata, but they're one of the, I think they're tied with Yellowfoot for 4th largest tortoise in the world. Somebody might have to fact check me on that. Jamie looked that up. Let's see. Best cooter and slider, in my opinion. I'm gonna say for best cooter, I'm gonna say Florida red belly, just because, I mean, if you're getting into cooters and sliders, you're gonna be dealing with a turtle, you know, with some size on it. Nothing huge, but you know, they're gonna have some size on them. But I think personality-wise, it's hard to beat the Florida red bellies. They really get accustomed to you. They have color. There's even people that are breeding them for really crazy colors. So I think bang for your buck, you know, to use that term. I'm gonna go Florida red belly. Best slider. Red-eared sliders are pretty, but they're really rough with each other and rough with other turtles. And I've noticed that the yellow bellies have a much more mellow personality. I've had some of the Central American ones, and they were actually pretty mellow as well, so I like those. In the winter, the tortoises go inside. I have like a insulated garage, so I don't know what that was, but something jumped in. I think that's a frog. I have an insulated garage, so they just come inside. And on nice days, I'll bring them back out. You know, like where I live near Atlanta, you can get, you know, winter days that are almost, you know, 75, 80 degrees. So whenever we get those warm-ups, I'll bring them outside and let them roam around for a while and get in the water, and then, you know, bring them in at night. Or if it's warm enough, I'll leave them out. And the mountain tortoise is actually the most cold tolerant tortoise I have. And for it, I'll leave it out. Actually, I'm incorrect. My Herman's tortoise is my most cold tolerant because I just leave it out year round. The mountain tortoise, I'll leave out until it's below 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Do you mind if I sit here? I'm just gonna sit right here. Are you okay with this? All right. We'll go back to answering these questions. I get distracted and I miss people's questions. Any tortoise I would like to get? I mean, I see all the videos of people with Aldabras and Galops, and I really like those. And then, like, you know, the little kid in me is like, oh, I wish I could keep one of those or a pair of those or something. But man, it's so much work. I already have a lot of work with everything that I have. And when you take on something new, you're kind of taking away the care that you can give a little bit to the things that you already have. So like, you know, even this cooter, if I take on a new tortoise, you know, that attention I might not get to share on this girl, you know, and everything else that I have. So I'm trying to work on the balance of having a lot of animals. Let me see, my red-footed tortoise is hibernating because it's winter here. She only wakes up when it rains. Yeah, that's normal. Do I not get poison ivy? No, for some reason, I mean, there's poison ivy. I don't know if it's in my yard, but for some reason, poison ivy doesn't affect me. So I don't know. I guess I got lucky on that. Do I still have the alligator snappers that bit Steve-O? Yeah, it's actually way in the back over there in a pond. Yeah, I still have that one. I need to do like an update video, or maybe a series of update videos where I just do like, here's my cooters, here's my mud turtles, here's my alligator snappers, here's my tortoises. It'd be cool to kind of maybe segment that and just kind of show what I have. I've kind of gravitated away from like care type videos just because there's enough people kind of doing that already, and I feel like maybe what I have to offer is showing things in the wild and showing things that people haven't seen. So but I have no problem like maybe knocking out some more backyard care stuff. Some poison ivy by the mountain tortoise. Okay, yeah. I mean, if there's poison ivy there, that's not surprising, but a lot of people will see Virginia creeper around here, and some of these, like, you know, the river birch leaves or this mint julep right there, and think it's poison ivy. But and then, like, that's Virginia creeper back in there, that little 5-star leaf, that's Virginia creeper. That's, a lot of people will confuse that with poison ivy. Have I ever had a problem with turtles eating poisonous plants? No. I think I had something pass away years ago because it ate something, but it was also kind of inconclusive. But generally what I've noticed is anything that's toxic, they either intuitively know to avoid it, or maybe they taste it and they spit it out immediately. But I've never had that issue. Oh, thank you. Yeah. This is a beautiful pond. I sometimes forget I need to come just sit by this thing. It'll make you feel better. So I've got to get ready for the rest of my day. I was going to show you guys something cool though. So over here, I actually had a very late season nest by an alligator snapper. Came, and this looks like where she kind of did this, and then this is all that she covered it up and stomped on it with. So kind of neat. It's going to be weird because she laid at the very beginning of August, so this nest would probably hatch in like early December. I'm going to assume the hatchlings are going to overwinter in the nest. So this is one of the females that I got from a guy that had two females, and they needed to be rehomed. One of them already nested over in the garden, and then this one nested here. Sometimes when they get moved to a new environment, the females will hold on to their eggs. Eventually they hold on to them, or can't hold on to them anymore. So it's kind of cool. So, yep. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna jump off. I gotta go help my daughter get ready for her day, and me and her are probably gonna go do something cool. Want to jump on, do a live with you guys. I've been trying to do these once a week. It's just been super busy, but I'll be back on here again soon. So thank you guys for jumping on, asking questions, providing knowledge for me on poisonous plants and everything else. I always like getting on here because you guys, you know, teach me as much as I share stuff with you. So always stoked on that. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.